and from there we are able to, to market. So what we are looking at is, in a way that we as farmers will be able to deal direct from the farmer to the consumer, direct, without these middlemen in between. And we're also looking at a situation where that the farmer will be involved in every decision-making process along the way. That is our vision. And with this, Your Excellency, what we are thinking about is, and what we want to recommend to the government, is that we need, these are the strategic interventions that we are requesting. We need to create an avocado production and marketing legal framework, which is not there. Right now we are at the HCD, which is still okay, but we need a standalone avocado production and marketing legal framework. Of course, under the guidance of HCD. The whole issue about that legal framework will be to create a conducive environment for the production and marketing of the avocados. Not really to control, not to regulate, but to create a conducive environment. Then that legal framework will also mitigate against these challenges I've talked about and many others, and we also be able to enhance the good agricultural practices within the avocado sector. And within that, Your Excellency, the issue of the GMR, it can also come there. And most important, one last point is that, Your Excellency, we want to recommend this: the establishment of Kenya Avocado Production and Marketing Authority. That will be captured in that particular legal framework, so as to look at the ecosystem along the value chain. The issue of the taxation, I don't want to talk about it, Your Excellency, but we thank you. I was listening to you on Sunday. You have the way forward. The Waheshimiwa they have the way forward, and we thank you very much for that. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel. I've given you more time for obvious reasons. So we go to aggregators, and I'll give Edward Boro a chance to make the presentation. Karibu.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President, CSS, and Member of Parliament, na wakulima na aggregators wenzangu, hamjambo. Mine, Your Excellency, will be very, I'll be precise. We are aggregators. Who are aggregators? Aggregators ni wale wafanyabiashara ambao wanakusanya mazao kwa wakulima wadogo wadogo wote na kuyakusanya pamoja na kuwapeleka katika exporters ama soko zingine. So we want to get out from that tag of being called brokers. If there are brokers who are working with exporters to go and do shoddy businesses with farmers, we are not there. We are registered traders. We do right business. We buy fruits and we sell them to exporters. Now, as we are the people who has taken the biggest burden, we are the people, sisi ndio ambao tumebeba information kwa wakulima wale wadogo wadogo. Mind Kenya, wakulima wengi wa parachichi ni wale ambao wako na miti 5, 10, 20, 100. Wachana na hiyo ya Canon. Hiyo ya Canon ni miti 1500, hata ajui aggregator, anaenda direct kwa exporter. Lakini kuna ule mama ako kwa ground, ule ako pale Kajuko, ule ako pale Murang'a, ule ako pale Madera, anangoja Edward ako na miti 2. Hiyo miti inaleta 1500. Mama ende akanunue dawa ya pressure ama alipe school fees. We are the people who come in as aggregators, and that's what we do. It is very legal, and wakulima ambao tunafanya kazi nao wako pamoja na sisi. Kitu ya pili, Bwana DP, sisi kama mimi hapa nimesimama leo, nimeandika vijana, and I'm think mimi ndio yule aggregator wako chini kidogo, nimeandika vijana 50, young women and men. Hawa vijana we interact nao kila siku. Vijana tumewaondoa kwa streets, vijana tumewaondoa kwa maploti huko, vijana wako busy. Starting February, that's first March, mpaka leo, vijana wako kwa mashamba, wanachuna matunda, wanaleta kwa mahali tumetengeneza our aggregation places, na tunaziforward to our exporters. What am I trying to say? Sisi create employment through aggregation of nearly 1 to 1.5 million young people, women, mama wadogo, harvesters, wale wanapanda miti. Unaona mtu kama mimi naweza kupanda mti juu, si nitavunjikia huko. Vijana wako kazi, bwana Deputy President 24/7. Sisi ndio tunacheza ile kazi umetupea kama watu wako. Tuondoe vijana kwa barabara, tuondoe vijana kwa deni za pombe, tuondoe vijana kwa mihadarati, wakuje wafanye kazi ya parachichi. Najaribu kusema hivi, wakati parachichi imefika mahali imeguzwa, mahali waheshimiwa wamesema kwamba that primary level, when you touch the primary level, unaguza wale vijana wa maito, wale siya maito, tunajaribu kuzitoa katika pombe, tunajaribu kuwa lift kwa maisha yao. Ujue sasa pale chini kila kitu imezambaratika. We are the people who are interacting with that, starting down the value chain of avocado, kuanzia kule chini tukielekea juu. Jambo la pili, sisi tunapigana mpaka na wezi wa avocado katika mashamba. Sisi ndio ambao tunatembelea ma OCS wote, hakuna OCS wa Murang'a ajui sisi, hakuna hata county commander anatujua, tunajulikana Bomet, tunajulikana everywhere, because sisi ndio wale watu tuko kwa ground, tunajua mkuu area gani wakulima wanaumia, area gani mazao yetu inapotea. Sasa sisi tunaomba serikali, sisi kama ndio the link people, sisi ndio tuko na information. Exporters wakitoa bilko, sisi ndio wanatupa, tunaenda kupatia wakulima kule chini. Wakati mwingine sisi ndio tunakaa katikati between the farmers na exporters. Tunaambia no, we cannot tell our farmers to buy, we buy this product at this price. So serikali ingie katikati. Recently tunashukuru serikali through Madam Shisharo, tumekaa miaka kadhaa without being registered. We are thankful you signed our letters. Association of Avocado Aggregators Association of Kenya imetengenezwa. Tuko na branches kila mahali. Tuko na watu kutoka Bomet, Machakos, Murang'a, Meru, everywhere, like 17 counties. Tunaomba serikali, kwa sababu washikadau wengine wataelezea kwa kindani, pale chini ambapo hapo ndio najua makamu wa rais uko na interest na wale watu wako wako pale chini. Kama kuna sheria ambayo itaguza mkulima ama iguze wale vijana ambao ni vijana wako, kama saa hii nikuambia unasikilizwa na vijana zaidi ya 1,000,000, wamenyamaza wanangojea sauti yako leo, na tuko sure wewe kama baba yetu lazima leo utatoka na solution. Lazima leo wakulima watalala vizuri, kwa sababu waheshimiwa wetu waliongea mbele na wakasema ya kwamba hakuna mtu anaweza soma Bible yote, lakini kuna mzee alisoma Bible yote mbele yako na ukampea kitu. Lakini tunasema hivi, hata kama hiyo sheria ilipita, hiyo point moja ambayo inaguza primary produce of a farmer, hiyo bwana makamu wa rais, hiyo uangalie vizuri na macho mawili, na value chain yote ya avocado, everybody is affected. You don't be told that farmer akisikia vizuri, ati aggregator atasikia vizuri zaidi, ama exporter. This is a value chain. Ni kama mwili tu, ukiumiza kidole kimoja umeumiza exporter kule juu, ukiumiza mguu mwingine aggregator ameumia. Kwa sababu ya wakati, nimewashukuru na Mungu awabariki.
Nafasi nampa Monyu wa Njohi, Chairman Avocado Aggregators. Karibu.
Thank you so much. Our Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Mheshimiwa, our new brother, Rigathi, CS ambaye wako hapa, PS ambaye wako hapa, other leaders in this forum, ladies and gentlemen, habari zenu. Nafikiri, Your Excellency, and I beg us to look at my face, we are growing old. Back in 2nd February 1980, that's when I took 4 boxes of avocado of Fuete and took them to airport. If you calculate how many years are those, I'm talking of 45 years old in that sector of horticulture. The rest, all others have gone. I'm the only remaining mzee in this sector. I say thank you to God, because God has made things happen the way I have been thinking all along before I erupt or I move from this sector. I just felt laughing because there is a main purpose that brought us here, and we should not waste time, and we do not shy to tell our real brother, because the Deputy President is our real brother. Your Excellency, if you don't tell your brother your problem, you are heading nowhere. There is a problem, and the problem is simple. We need to go to the chambers to do the necessary. I don't want to blame members of parliament, because you have been hearing the Gachagua meeting. It is me who called it. And I invited my sisters and my brothers. When I heard the noise from our mothers, I'm humbly conveying this message to you. We will rely with you, and we are on your shoulders. Those are the big stories of who is who are not important. Our request is simple. And this is the information from our mothers, our brothers, our sisters, from the ground. Let us not be killed by this tax. If anything, let this government of ours look on an alternative way of raising the money, but not touching the common hustler. That's the way it is. Mheshimiwa, I know we have come from far. Na hapa nitaongea. We knew things were bad when we entered the government. There was no money. Nothing had already been done. Lakini siku hizi Mheshimiwa, Your Excellency, things are changing. Si mbaya sana kama vile kulikuwa. Si mbaya Mheshimiwa. So now, because things are not very bad, because we have agreed, I can tell you, this alone, the vessel that was to leave Mombasa was to go with 350 containers, 40 foot of avocado. To the surprise, we did not even manage 150 containers via that vessel. Wale wa mama Mheshimiwa, Your Excellency, nakwambia, we went there, walisema, we will not sell avocado, we are not ready to be invoiced. Wengine unajua wanaongea kikuwa, wengine wanaongea kamba. Waliuliza, unajua anaita Mheshimiwa Manyora, what is this? You know what I'm saying in English? They asked me, what is this? There was a problem, but we are now here not dwelling on the problem. Let's dwell on how are we going to sort the problem out. Fighting has no vitamin. At this stage, that has no vitamin. As we know, what do we do to sort the problem out? Mheshimiwa, and I'm saying that because we all like to time to waste. By the way, this time I should be somewhere cutting avocado or doing something else. Here, we are happy because you will take lunch here. And I will not leave here without a quote from you. But I should not be here doing that. I should be here doing the right work to uplift the economy of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you want it or not, you either deliver or you pack and go from this country. That's the way it is. You either assist the government or you quit. I remember, because if the age we are having, we are still pushing to uplift the economy of this country. What of you who are strong, educated more than us? You have the capacity. I would not want even to talk much. Currently, and not currently, all along, since I started, I've been reading this group. And this group is not for the bias alone. Please note that in every county in the whole country, Your Excellency, we have members. And the most funny thing, Your Excellency, no member contribute even a shilling to that group of the aggregators. There's no charges. I frontier whatever little I get to lead this country on nothing. I don't think many can be able to do that. And I start here because they are here. I stand here to be proved right or wrong because people know me. And I'm not here to become a millionaire. If I become a millionaire, fine and good. But you don't force money in your pocket. You let God bless you. And that's how we can manage this country of ours. I just want to make a humble request. History will tell. Yeah, history, let me just finish. History will tell because we are here to look at our mothers, our brothers and sisters. As I live here, I want to appreciate our members of parliament. Please allow me to say that. Because when I called them, Your Excellency, and I told them, and they heard it from our mothers, they agreed. Whoever never made a mistake, I don't stand here to blame the members of parliament. I stand here because we have agreed there is a problem. How can we sort the problem out? We move forward. The last one, I want to appreciate the office of HCD. I have seen it from down to top, even the office of the chairman of APA. I have no personal blame, even with my groups on HCDA and APA. They have delivered. People expect people to do miracles. There is no Hejo who has come down on earth. So we have to see whether somebody has delivered or not. So to me, as I sit, I humbly think, because I know everybody is waiting to hear the voice of the chairman, as you deliver in the evening and tomorrow, I will communicate to them. There's a way I communicate to them. Through the media, through the TVs, through wherever. I want to deliver a message of hope to the common farmer. That is my only prayer. I deliver a message to him, and God will bless us for whatever we do. I'm not a pastor. To whoever is saying he has a big shamba, it's no bad. This is about the demand and supply. So as we conclude, thank you so much. I know we have a lot of people who are determined to deliver. Please let's do justice to God, not to people, but to God. Because what we do here is justice to God, not to human beings. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Sharon.
Our Excellency, Deputy President, allow me to call you Rigiji, and all protocol observed. Habari zenu. My names are Sharon Wanjiko. I'm a Kafura wa Makodo. Makodo is avocado in Kikuyu, and I stand here as a passionate person in the avocado industry. I love avocado all around. Not just because it's a fruit, it's a nutritious fruit, but because it sponsors my life. As a young person, we know that agriculture, many youths have not embraced agriculture. This issue of eatings, my beloved leaders, if we impose taxes on agricultural produce, are we making agriculture, let me use the word sexy because young people have sexy things. Are we making agriculture sexy for the young people? Are we making agriculture attractive to the young people? Are we? we will discourage the young people to indulge in agriculture if we impose taxes on agriculture. Agriculture is the backbone of this country. If we impose taxes, and yet, especially in the avocado industry, we don't have incentives that support avocados. So I would urge, as we've said, the elephant of this room is the issue of taxation. Yes, we need to develop our country ourselves, so we need to have taxes, yes, as a country, to be taxed and to increase the tax base. But let's exempt the agricultural produce, because at the end of the day, agriculture is an SDG that eradicates poverty, improves health, provides food, and economically sustains people. So I would urge that we exempt all agricultural produce from the taxes. Secondly, I'm an aggregator. As a young person, being born in a very, very humble background, and I love agriculture. I love avocado. So the way I entered this industry, I've been in this industry for 3 years only. The way I entered this avocado is because there was an avenue to be an aggregator. So my fellow big farmers and large-scale farmers, let's not point this aggregation role of the industry as brokerage, because sincerely speaking, me, I'm doing business in this industry. I pay the farmers, I sell my fruits to the exporters, and then I get my profit from that. So I stand here very heartbroken that we are labeled as the wrongdoers of this industry. We play key roles. We caution the small-scale farmers from the challenges that this industry has. Recently, there was shortage of containers. I, as an aggregator, I had bought fruits from a farmer. I had paid the farmer. Taking my produce to the exporter, I'm told there's shortage of containers. Have I not cautioned the farmer from the challenge that we've experienced as an industry? Have I not? I have. So, us as aggregators, we caution the young and small-scale farmers from the challenges that this industry goes through. We take the biggest risk in this industry. In the rejection, now again I stand again as the Secretary of Avocado Aggregators Association of Kenya. Personally, I've seen the niches of this industry that we need to streamline this industry. It's a potential industry, it's an upcoming industry, and we should streamline it. How can we streamline this industry? My brother had said that we need a legal framework directed to avocado. My request, my humble request, Madam Cesaro and Bwana Rigiji, can we have a directorate for avocado that will be focused entirely on avocado, so that you can have research bases specifically for avocado? We can have a table of policy makers and regulators specifically for avocados, so that you can be able to streamline this industry. It has very huge potential. I've seen it, and that's why I will forever stay in this. I'm glad that I'm in this industry. Thirdly, in the matters of rejection, as an association, we have taken up the role to go and do training to the farmers and our harvesters, so that we can make sure that we are harvesting right, we are harvesting the best fruits, and we are transporting them the right way. We have the post-quality management. We have taken that role. So I'll urge the government, I'll urge all members present here that you support us to be able to streamline and to make sure that we harvest good fruits and to make sure that we improve our quality so that you can have a competitive edge in the international market. Thirdly, avocado has employed so many young people. If we impose these taxes, I've seen people gone into depression. I've seen people gone into alcoholism. I've seen people going to crime because hatuna pesa. I'm speaking this because I have a member of my family that has been affected by alcoholism. And it's so hurtful to see that the little things that we can do in the agriculture or other places, even not just agriculture, are being imposed to discourage us to do the right thing and to have money in our pockets so that we move away from depression. These people who you are seeing getting into alcoholism, it's depression that has led them there. Depression because of what? They cannot provide for their family. They cannot put food on their table. They don't have shelter. Bonarigiji, as a young person, please exempt agricultural produce from the taxes. At the moment, the ETMs has been implemented. Our humble request again, we would request that as the MPs akina Bwana Mureu, Wamaua, Bwana Chege Jogona, as you push the agenda in the parliament, can we have a halt of this implementation until this matter is reviewed and amended? Thank you and be blessed.
Your Excellency, if you allow, we have 2 more exporters, a shipping line representative, and 2 processors, and I'll be done. So the next online is Samson Mureithi, chairperson of Avocado's Exporters Association. Karibu.
Good afternoon. Deputy President of the Government of Kenya, CS is present, MP is present, exporters present, all protocols observed, and our farmers. Good afternoon. Mheshimiwa Deputy President, we take this opportunity to sincerely thank you for finding time to meet us despite your busy schedule. It's an honor. The Avocado Exporters Association is registered in this country under the Societies Act, Cap 108, and its activities are governed by Board of Directors. As an industry, we seek your assistance on important matters that affect us and avocado industry at large, which if addressed, will help industry growth. Avocado exports have become a vital component of our country's agricultural economy, contributing substantially to foreign exchange earnings and rural livelihoods. Despite sector's growth and potential, we still face below obstacles which require strategic intervention and support from the government. One is ETIMS, market access, regulator, KRA, and KPA. If you allow me, the introduction of ETIMS to avocado farmers in Kenya involves integration of digital platform to their invoicing and tax reporting processes. This could have several implications and challenges for avocado farmers, and hereby leading to complexity and resistance of ETIMS compliance implementation from the roots, who are the farmers, to the avocado exporters. We request to be allowed to continue our business uninterrupted as KRA further engages and educates the stakeholders, farmers on smooth implementation process. We have challenges in items. One is resistance and challenges in technology adoption, where many avocado farmers may not be familiar with electronic invoicing systems. They would need training and support to adapt to using items effectively and remove resistance. Farmers are also required to have KRA PIN and smartphones, of which most of them don't have. We request involvement of other stakeholders in the engagement so arising issues can be addressed collaboratively. Infrastructure and connectivity. Access to reliable internet connectivity and digital infrastructure may be limited to some rural areas where avocado farming is prevalent. Farmers may face challenges in accessing and using items without adequate connectivity and infrastructure. Next one is compliance requirements. Avocado farmers would need to ensure compliance with the tax regulations and the reporting requirements set forth by the government through items. This may involve understanding how to generate and submit electronic invoices, maintain proper records, and comply with tax filing deadlines. To address these challenges, the government of Kenya and relevant stakeholders would need to provide adequate support, training, and infrastructure to avocado farmers. This might include offering training programs, subsidizing costs associated with items adoption, improving internet connectivity in rural areas, and ensuring data security and privacy measures are in place. Additionally, creating awareness campaigns and progressive provision of assistance can help avocado farmers successfully integrate items into their operations. We believe that addressing these issues collaboratively will not only benefit the avocado export industry, but also contribute to the overall economic development and prosperity of our nation, Kenya. Your Excellency, we are requesting for implementation deferment. Number 2 is market access. Expanding access to new international markets and addressing trade barriers that hinder the competitiveness of our avocado exports. 1, regulatory framework. Streamlining regulatory processes and ensuring a conducive policy environment that fosters the growth of avocado industry while maintaining high standards of food safety and environmental sustainability. We request to be involved in negotiations for bilateral trade agreements. Some existing agreements have been challenging, especially on issues of taxation and compliance. For example, charging 30% duty on commercial invoice for every consignment destined to India, China markets, and other emerging markets. Number 3 challenge we have HCD and KEFIS. We are facing below challenges both from Horticultural Crops Directorate and KEFIS, Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Services. 1 is synchronization and double inspection. 2 is capacity building. 3 is sustainability and quality control and assurance. Both institutions lack enough inspectors and infrastructure. For example, vehicles and dry matter test machines to facilitate the inspections that have now been made mandatory by both regulatory bodies, thus causing delays in response and dispensations of services within the industry. Additionally, KEVIs are charging facilitation fees plus mileage per kilometer, 58 shillings and 50 cents from JKRA. Yet this should be a free government service. We propose, Your Excellency, that inspection points be established where exporters can deliver samples for testing, or when HCD confirms produce has attained the threshold of an export, an express phytosanitary certificate is issued. It is our request to have HCD delinked from AFA and perform as the original HCDA, and when that happens, we, the exporters of fresh produce, express interest of representation on the board. This will give us an opportunity to contribute during policy formulation discussions, thereby avoiding resistance to adoption of new policies, which sometimes are impractical in nature. Addressing these challenges requires coordinated efforts from both HCD and KEFIS, as well as collaboration with other relevant stakeholders, including farmers, exporters, research institutions, and government agencies. Last but not the least, KRA and KPA. Avocado exporters are facing a lot of challenges at the port. Delays in handover due to KPA, KRA, and Kentrade systems failures, and numerous documents brought about by the over-regulation by HCD and KEFIS. Customs clearance have become long, tedious, and punitive. Recently, a long list of documents has been made mandatory in order to allow our containers into the port. This includes HCD clearance, export certificates, phytosanitary certificate, port health, custom entry, among others, all being required before handover, unlike in the past. This increase in documentation and complication of the handover processes has brought about many containers missing the vessel's cut-off times, which affects our quality, the shelf life, and the country's credibility in the international markets. Our neighboring countries, e.g. Tanzania, that use the port of Mombasa for export of avocados only require customs entry for clearance, thus being simpler and more efficient than us in our own ports. We hope and trust, Your Excellency, that these above issues are addressed. They will help spur growth in our industry, hence creating more jobs and foreign exchange. Thank you so much.
Asante sana. Sasa ni muda Ojebat, na kama uko na nakala ambayo imeandikwa, naomba tusisome, tusipeane kwa sababu sinaweza soma, ili uweze kupatiana presentation yako kwa muda mdogo sana. Tafadhali.
Thank you. Your Excellency, we appreciate and we thank you that you got time to spend with us. Thank you, CSS and PS, and the stakeholders here present. I represent the exporters, most of who are here and those who are not here. We are an association that brings together traders in the fresh produce industry. We have a bit of shared work that we delivered together, but we are here to make one humble request. And before the request, just to let you know that nobody among the exporters or the value chain actors is against payment of tax to the value chain upstream. We have a problem with tax implementation at the primary level. The exporters they are in will tell you they are already paying their taxes. They are submitting their returns. They are doing everything. What is disrupting us is that we are not able at the moment to receive produce from farmers for two reasons. One, the farmers need to give the exporters and the aggregators their PIN certificate, PIN numbers. Mr. President, Deputy President, I want to say this, that the farmers have been told, if you give out your PIN, your land is being sold. For that reason, we are not able to get produce to fill containers, and our produce is stuck in the farms. This needs to be clarified. Number two, we deliberately reached out to some of the farmers, and one of them is Faith and Wamboi from Kinyuri and Odaya, from your backyard, so that they are able to explain to you, perhaps in the mother tongue, in a language you can understand, that this business is getting frustrated by virtue of the implementation of the Finance Act, particularly number 23, clause 23A. We are requesting this way, that we put on hold, suspend the implementation of that specific clause, praying that the members of parliament here present make true their request of amending that legal provision based on the legal provision through the parliament framework. If we get that, then we're in business. She has mentioned we have 57 billion we got this year. We are in danger, Deputy President. Our competitors who are our neighbors are taking advantage every day of every single blunder we do. And once they get to that market, we lose the market. Our exports for beans and peas have gone down instead of increasing. The only export that we are currently seeing an upward trend is avocado. We do not want to go that direction. We want to do anything humanly possible to support the country in ensuring this goes high. To Madam CS, we have a challenge when it comes to market, and I'm happy Christine is here, and CS Chelugui here. We do not have market budgets for market access. PS, I'm sure you know the battle we had to go to Berlin this year. We did not give Christine peace. If we are not in a marketplace, we are not going to sell anything. The rest of the things we are doing here is a PR exercise. These exporters need to get to Berlin every February. We are going to May this year. Christine does not have a budget. And then when we go to the market, we have a kiosk in the name of a Kenyan stand. We have an embassy that has not been empowered. They can't do anything apart from talking to us. Out of 57 billion we gave government through HCD, government has given us zero in return to develop the industry. Zero. We're not asking for too much. If you give us 1%, if you give us 2%, or give us 3% of that money and say, please go back and develop the industry, we can sit here 1 year down the line and we can demonstrate to you that this industry works. They have mentioned the issues of taxes. Beyond other things, we have a challenge. These exporters are not getting tax refunds. Our biggest problem is if they don't, everything they have spent is going to be considered profit and not an expense. So an executive order, whatever consultation needs to happen like yesterday. And that is why we're saying we're glad that this meeting is here. And we are unable to move. Our industry is actually supported by development partners. The government of Kenya has less than 3% of the budget allocated to agriculture. You can check. Against your own protocol of 10% allocation to the agriculture industry sector. Out of that, less than about 2.5%. Out of that, HCD has to come back to us for us to buy space, to get space. Exporters give you 0.025% of the export value that they give you every day before we export. And they are here, they can confirm. Before the export, we are invoiced and we must pay through your pay bill number for the system to accept the cargo to be uploaded. Now, when you ask us again to be agents of the government in terms of tax and record keeping, which we have not been guided, it becomes very complex. Our humble submission, all of us here, we work for the government, we want to support your effort, we want to support everything, but the Minister of Agriculture, as they have said, needs to come with us and sit together and say, friends, trade, cooperatives, can we have a get together and say, how do we make doing business in this country a real practical experience and not a barrier? Some of what we are doing, Mr. Deputy President, with all due respect, we are bringing technical barriers where they are not supposed to be by virtue of so many protocols. Our neighbors are not just watching, they have taken the market. They have hired our Kenyans are the ones championing their exports. So that I submit, I just want to say this, and I'm here, I'm glad that Mofam is here. He did a good job. Come on, you can send a video, man. it's good to recognize those who have supported us, to be able to get, Kamau is here, he was able to really help us to get this meeting together, and we want to appreciate. And perhaps with your permission, Banamlango, with your permission, the Deputy President was not here by the time we're doing introduction. If I can just ask the exporters to rise up. Those are just a sample of the exporters that are in the room, a sample. Christine has more than 600 exporters on her database. You can be seated. And then we have aggregators, we have farmers, we have everyone. We want to submit to you, Mr. Deputy President, so that I go down and sit. Kindly, let everything that government does not contradict what we signed under WTO. And most critically, we are in a competitive world. The shipping agent who is coming to speak to you will tell you that if HCD closes the season and opens the season, the reason why we have shortage of the containers is because these people could not place orders for the containers on advance because they didn't know when we are opening the season. And for that reason, the shipping agents cannot bring containers and keep them idle in Mombasa. So it's going to take us another 2 weeks, up to the 1st or 2nd week of April, for us to stabilize. In the meantime, what happens? Our competitors, Peru, when they get into the market, they take over the market. Lastly, please, empower HCD with more capacity. Empower KEFIS with more capacity. We don't pay mileage through HCD, but we have to pay mileage through KEFIS. And yet they are visiting the same people. So, Banapias, if in your office you can find a way of giving KEFIS a budget so that they don't charge us mileage, we will be happy. And if not, then delegate that responsibility where the budget is. And we have worked very well, this is my tail end, with our embassies out there. I challenge Madam Miano, the entire Europe, and perhaps fears, and for purposes of record, Kenya has only 2 agricultural officers, attaches, 2. One based in Rome, one based in Brussels, to take care of 27. I was at State House when we were signing the EPA. What do you do with the 27 countries with only 2 officers? And we do not have a trade attaché in Geneva where deals are signed. So if we don't have a trade attaché in Geneva, and Geneva is where business is negotiated, so exactly what are we saying as a country? Could we take stock and say, where do we need these trade attachés to be able to articulate our issues? The officer in Geneva is a good, hard-working officer, but he's from Foreign Affairs. He has to wake up in the morning, move from one meeting to the other. So we submit that we need to have a proper dialogue. And back to my point 1, let's put on hold the implementation of that specific clause until further notice to allow consultation. Thank you.
We have Bev from Mask. Then we have 2 final people to speak on behalf of the processors. Then I hand over the remainder of the session.
Your Excellency, all protocols observed. At Mask, we offer integrated end-to-end solutions for logistics. Specifically for avocados exports, we support this valued industry with an efficient and well-monitored cold supply chain from pack houses all over Kenya onto the vessel and sail all the way to the final country of discharge. We are here to support this industry amidst a lot of challenges. Right now, we all know what is happening at the Red Sea. And I know 2 things have been brought up: containers, increased freight. That I don't buy because we did not increase our freight. But it is a situation which is not under our control. What I'm requesting here today is whatever is in control at the land side, and that is in Kenya, please let us support all the stakeholders, the farmers, the aggregators, the exporters. How? It is taking me about 8 weeks or thereabout, speaking about mask, to bring containers from Europe into this country for us to be able to do the exports. In the past, we used to rush to Jeddah and the nearby places. 9 days, we have the containers. That is not happening now with the Red Sea. So when I speak to my exporters, what they tell us is there's uncertainty. They do not know when the season will be open, so they can't give me the numbers, and a lot of issues. So if only we can support with what we have here, then we can be able to see how we can be able to manage the situation which is not under our control. Now, in regards to the farmers, I would like to assure you, as masculine, we've not just left the situation to go off hard. We've tried our best, we'll continue trying, and we shall make sure that for the rest part of the season, as much as possible, we have the containers that we require in this country to do export. Your Excellency, the containers that we use for export of avocados are special containers and not just the standard containers, which we do not use with our imports, and thus the issue of shortage. We have issues surrounding to processes, and this is in respect to the system management. It has been brought about by, I think Samson brought it out very clearly. For us to be able to take a container from Thika and take it to Mombasa and load on our vessel, we have to comply. And to comply, we mean a lot of documentation and systems processes that we have to work with. Please help us to have systems that are working so that I do not move with a container all the way from Thika to Mombasa and just get stuck at the gate because of one system which is down and I can't get in. We've had support in the past, but we need the support even much more now, because a unit left with avocados in this port, 1 week, it will be stuck there until we get another vessel. And that will be 1 week added to the already increased transit time, which unfortunately, because of security of both humans and cargo on board, it has to be long. We are using the Cape of Good Hope. Thank you, Madam Christine. You've been consulting us on a lot of decision making. Please consult the shipping lines, because if you consult us, we are able to offer some of the solutions. We operate globally, and as such, we see more. Today, we know when we are booking for Peru, for Mexico, and for Colombia. So if you come and ask me, I'll be able to tell you, the cargo of living for Kenya now, for sure, you'll hit the market jointly with Peru. Could we have avoided that? Depends on what parameters you are looking at. But yes, we could. Let's work using the information. Information is power. We at MASK, we are ready to collaborate, work with all the stakeholders, offer information because we have feasibility beyond Kenya. And when we work together, it is for the growth of everyone. Every person who have come here has spoken about growth. And growth is only going to be realized if we all work as a team. If we all work and share information from one another, then we can strategically position ourselves as Kenya fruit or Kenyan fruit in Europe and be able to compete, move from the number 6 and come even to number 1. Thank you.
And I'm now the last two speakers, the processors, Stephen Githaiga, 3 minutes please. He will be followed by Lucy Jerry, Then I hand over the session to Waziri Chelugui.
Your Excellency, CSEs, present PSEs, other government officials, all protocols observed. I think mine will be very brief. I represent the processors. Processors are the people in the industry who add value. Over and above exporting the avocado, we take the avocados that cannot be exported and process them to oil. We have been given statistics, Your Excellency, that we are number 6 on avocado, fresh avocado export, but for processing avocado oil, Your Excellency, Kenya is number 2 in the world after Mexico. And I can tell you, Your Excellency, I personally see Kenya being number 1 in oil processing in the world, because most of the fruits that our neighbors also produce are ending up in Kenya. We've also been told, Your Excellency, about the industry, the importance of the horticultural industry in this country. But I also want to reiterate without repeating that the horticulture industry is the number 1 foreign exchanger in this country. I stand to be corrected. It's above tourism. It's above tea and coffee. And hence, what I'm trying to say is that we should take the horticulture industry with the seriousness it deserves, knowing that how much foreign exchange that this country requires over and above to the job creation that, that it creates. Avocado is also a high value product, Your Excellency. Currently, compared to other horticultural products, 1 acre of avocado, in minimum, those farmers who are here will tell you that they earn a minimum of 1 million shillings on an acre. Compare it with maize, compare it with coffee, compare it with tea. Some of us are in both ends. You'll see that avocado really contributes quite a lot to the bottom of and above just assisting the government in foreign exchange and jobs. Having said that, Your Excellency, without repeating, as processors and also exporters, we have been told about the challenges that face exporters, but also on the processors, since we export, we're also having a challenge on the tedious and numerous documentations that we have to undergo with HCDA, KFIS, KPA, KRA, and we request that we harmonize the process. Just to give you an example, for example, for you to export a container out of any pack house, whether it's oil, whether it's fresh, you have KFIS, first of all, you have HCDA coming to inspect the fruits. The same day or the following day, KFIS comes to inspect the same fruits to give you export documents. And worst case, and they are doing a good job, if it's a Saturday or a Sunday, and these are perishable goods, you are stuck with your container in your pack house, and Mask is there. They've given us a cutoff that the container has to be in Mombasa by Monday or Tuesday. HCDA is not available to do that inspection. So we request harmonization of those duplicated processes. We also have the challenge of closure and opening of the season. Without repeating what my predecessors had said, I think we need to dialogue more on this and even see whether we can get away with the closure and opening of the avocado season. The reason I'm saying this is that every region, Kenya has it has its months or period in the world market. We have to export our avocados before Peru. If it's Peru, they have their own space. They have their own months. So if we get the timing wrong and we open or close the season when other players whom we are competing with have come, then we lose. For information, Your Excellency, maybe they are here quietly, the exporters. Almost 10 of us now exporters have gone to the neighboring country, Tanzania, to export fruits from there because maybe the processes are a bit seamless, and secondly, the issue of the documentation are not as challenges as we are encouraging here in our home country. Coming back to avocado oil processors, we would request if we can be assisted by the counties through the central government. We are having a big challenge on the waste management of avocado oil. So we are having a big challenge because almost 90% of what we process is waste. It's not harmful, but it's waste, and the counties cannot allow us to put that on the sewer lines. So we can be assisted in waste areas where we can be able to discharge that. I think we'll be grateful. Your Excellency, we are also challenged as exporters with VAT refunds. Yeah, all agricultural products are exempted from VAT. But the processing material that we produce, we use, cartons and the rest have to pay VAT and later request for refunds. Most of us here, Your Excellency, unless you're in an EPZ zone, you cannot be able to get those VAT refunds timely from KRA, hence affecting our cash flow, and would request that, we can be able to get those refunds timely. Last but not least, Your Excellency, I have reiterated at the beginning the importance of HCDA. What I would request again is if we can be able to make HCDA as an authority. The members of parliament are here, and it's unfortunate that Mama County is, the former Mama County is not available. Madam Chege, she had presented a bill where HCDA was to be an autonomous and be able to get its own board, where even us as industry players would participate in the decision making and the growth of the industry. So if that bill can be reactivated, as we look at the E-Teams bill, if that bill also of getting HCDA autonomous will appreciate quite a lot. So thanks a lot and God bless.
Lastly, Lucy, useme tu kitu ambayo haijasema tafadhali, tusirundie. Karibu.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President of Kenya, all CSAs present, all PSAs present, all MPs, members of County Assembly, all protocols observed, na wananchi wenzangu, hamjamboni. I will only focus on one ask, which I think I have to emphasize on. Involvement of stakeholders in key policy making. A lot of these problems that we are addressing here could have been avoided if there was dialogue in these decisions being made. For example, E-Teams. If we were involved, someone would have noticed that if this thing caters across the whole agricultural produce, there might be a problem here. The lack of involvement is bringing us down, is bringing us back to the drawing board. The second one is during bilateral trade agreements, negotiations, things are decided on the table where stakeholders are not involved. Such things affect us. For example, we get a market for China, Your Excellency, but then it is for frozen product. we are not able to do frozen product. We go back to the drawing board. We get a market for China, but it is a market for fruit that needs to be fumigated. The fumigation process affects the quality of the fruit. Again, we go back to involvement of stakeholders in policy making decisions. The last but not least, HCD and AFA, they have a board, I don't know, HCD, we would like to be in their board so that when they're discussing issues that affect avocado, then we can give input to avoid going back and forth. The opening and closing of the season, for example, it is a good thing. We appreciate the effort being made to bring our quality at par with the industry. However, if you close our avocado export season from September all the way until March, and then open it when Peru is starting, really, we cannot offer good prices because we cannot also sell at good prices. If we were consulted as to when to open or close, or even whether it is necessary to open and close, we avoid this whole debacle of going back and forth. Dry matters, you know, we have right now the regulation to have a dry matter of 24. Such issues can be addressed before they become policy, and we can give our input that affects the business directly, it affects the prices we offer, it affects us. But it's because we are not involved in policy making, we are not involved in the decision making, and brings us back to this point. So I'll be very brief. That is my only ask. Involve us. Watuongeni pamoja so that we can make laws that make sense, so that we are able to do things and move, not make a law then go back to change it. Let's move forward without wasting time. Thank you very much. This is a very good initiative, and we really appreciate that you're hearing us. This is part of the involvement that we're requesting. Asante sana.
Waziri Changui akija kule kwetu Kirinyaga tunasema kwamba tumaini ya mbwa huisha jiko likifungwa. Kama jiko halijafungwa bado kuna tumaini. Mkiona dijiji hapa kuna tumaini. Mkiona mawaziri kuna tumaini, si ndio? Na mkiona mbunge wenu hapa kuna tumaini. Kwa hiyo mengi ni machache, na mwalika waziri wetu Bwana Cherugui tuendelee na hicho kipindi kingine. Asanteni sana.
Haya, tumpatie makofi. Let's appreciate Mheshimiwa Mrango. Hiyo imetosha kweli? Asante sana. Ama tumekaa sana, si tuamke tukimpigia makofi. Amefanya kazi nzuri sana. Haya, 1 2 3. Asante. Funga. Fungua. At least tumesimama na stretch kidogo. We can take our seats. Asante sana. I think this is a very important meeting. Do you agree with me? I've heard so many things. Some even new words. Some said, one person said, fighting has no vitamin. I think I picked that one. So we've had so much, and I think we are in good space. When I listen to every speaker here, I hear a voice of concern, a voice of commitment, and a voice of determination to succeed. I've heard from private sector to the farmers, I see a lot of passion. I see a lot of anxiety to succeed. Everybody here feels like Kenya is not in its rightful position. We can go higher, we can grow, we can go better. And that is the desire of this administration. When we talked about value chain approach, when we talked about